Good evening, students. So in our previous segment we talked of the discussion on self as well as cross pollination, and then we have proceeded with the difference between self as well as cross pollination. And now let us start with the discussion on the adaptations for various plants or various flowers have in order to achieve self or cross pollination, because both the pollination are important. If you want variation or genetic recombination, then we know cross pollination is must, it is important. And if you want to produce the true breeding line of any flower or any plant species, then self pollination is must. So self pollination is also important. At the same time, we cannot neglect cross pollination also. So now let us see the various adaptations that a particular flower or a plant has in order to achieve self or cross pollination. So in this segment we will study only adaptations for self pollination. So the topic is adaptation for self pollination. Okay. So now we know what is self pollination. It is the transfer of pollen from anther to the stigma of the same flower. That is what we call it as self pollination or autogamy. Now let us see the adaptations that a particular flower has in order to ensure self pollination. The first adaptation is homogamy. The condition is called as homogamy. Now what is the meaning of homogamy? Homo means same, gamy means it is related to gametes. So it is maturation of male as well as female reproductive part of a flower at a same time. So it is maturation of both the sex organs at same time. That means the male part, that is the stamen, or you can also say the androecium, or the female part, that is the pistil or gynoecium, must undergo maturation at same time only. That is what homogamy is. Now what is the advantage when both the sex organ, that is stamen or pistil in the case of female and stamen in case of male, when they both mature at the same time, now what will happen? So example is when egg is ready, at that time pollen must also be produced or pollen must also be formed. So when the egg is ready, at that time pollen must be formed. Now what is the advantage of maturation of both the sex organs at the same time? See, if the egg is ready and the pollen is also ready, then what will happen? That pollen grain will fall on the stigma of the same flower. Stigma is acting as a sticky surface, receptive surface, and they will form a pollen tube. Pollen tube will contain the two male gametes and the vegetative tube cell. Vegetative tube cell will initiate the formation of the pollen tube. The two male gametes will reach to the ovary, and then there will fertilize. There they will facilitate fertilization process. That means if they both mature at the same time, there is no other option for the pollen grain to go to the another flower for pollination. So this is the best example of that is homogamy. So example of the flower, that is Catharanthus roseus. Example includes Catharanthus roseus, that is Baramasi. So this is the first adaptation, that is homogamy, that is maturation of both the sex organs at the same time. And the advantage of having both the organs matured at the same time is, say the pollen egg is ready, at that time if the pollen is also ready, the pollen ball will derisize, anther will rupture, pollen grain will be released, and there is no other option for the pollen grain to go to the another flower, that is the stigma of the another flower for cross pollination, because already stigma is receptive, it is present, pollen grain is also present, so there will facilitation of self pollination. Now the second adaptation is clastogamy. If you remember, in the difference between self and as well as cross pollination, we discussed that Clastogamous is adaptation for self-pollination, and there is one more, Chasmogamous or Chasmogamy, that is adaptation for cross-pollination. That we will see later on. So second is Clastogamy, means the another simplest term is closed flowers. So they are closed flower. That means sex organs are enclosed within a bud condition, or within, they are present within the flower. So sex organs are enclosed in flower. So what is the advantage of using the phenomena of clastogamy, and the flowers which show this phenomena are called as clastogamous flowers? We will see the examples also. But clastogamous means closed flowers. Sex organs are enclosed in the flower, that is in the bud condition only. So what is the advantage of having clastogamous flowers is there is no other option for stigma or per se the pollen to go to another stigma. A stigma has no option to receive the pollen from the another flower. Let us see with the help of diagram. If this is we considered as stigma, style as well as ovary, and here the bilobed anther structure is located, and this is the lowermost peduncle part of the flower. So what will happen? And let us say both of them are enclosed. So there is no other option for this pollen to go and fall on this stigma, nor stigma has another option so that it can receive the pollen from any other flower, because it is closed flower, it is not open flower, and the closed flower is what we call it as clastogamous flower, and the phenomena is called as clastogamy. So stigma cannot receive the pollen grain from any other flower. Example includes oxalis, viola and commelina. Examples are very important for clastogamous, that is oxalis, viola, and the third one is commelina, C-O-M-M-E-L-I-N-E. So example includes oxalis, viola as well as commelina, and these are the examples of clastogamy, and the flowers are called as clastogamous flowers. So within these oxalis, viola as well as commelina, two different types of flowers are produced. So the two different types of flowers are, one flower is the adaptation, that is the clastogamous flower. So clastogamous flowers, and the second one is chasmogamous flower. Okay, so in oxalis, viola as well as commelina, two different types of flower species are produced. One is clastogamous flower, and let us write clastogamous flowers means it is closed flower, and the chasmogamous flowers are the normal, which is the open flower. Now the two flowers are clastogamous as well as chasmogamous. Now the difference is clastogamous flowers are underground flowers. So clastogamous flowers are underground flower, and these chasmogamous flowers are exposed towards the aerial part of the plant or flower. So chasmogamous flowers are exposed towards aerial parts, and they are of bright colored, say bright green color. So they are of bright color, and the advantage that chasmogamous flowers has is they attract insect for pollination. And which kind of pollination? Of course, if this is an open flower, it can facilitate cross pollination. So it has bright colors which attract insect for pollination. And which type of pollination? Mainly cross pollination, because this is open flower, this is not a closed flower. Okay, so these are the two this adaptation for self-pollination. Now let us see more. Now the third adaptation is seen in the Mirabilis jalapa, that is 4 o'clock plant. If you remember, we have discussed this plant, this flower in the phenomena of incomplete dominance in chapter number 5, principles of inheritance and variation. So third is seen in, example is Mirabilis jalapa, that is 4 o'clock plant. What basically the adaptation which is seen in the Mirabilis jalapa is anther bends on the stigma. So adaptation is, the natural adaptation is anther bends on stigma. So say for example, if this is the stigma part and the anther bends like this, so there is no other option for the stigma to receive the pollen from any other flower, and the anther has only one option to fall the pollen on this stigma only. Let us see in the help of diagram. Say for example, this is the stigma, style as well as ovary, and the anther bends on stigma. Say if this is a kind of anther, that is a bilobed anther, the normal typical bilobed anther, it falls or it bends towards the stigmatic surface. So there is no other option for this anther, nor the option is there with the stigma to receive pollen from any other flower. And the anther, the pollen of this anther will definitely fall on this stigma, which is acting as a receptive surface, and then they will facilitate self-pollination. So this is the third adaptation for self-pollination, that is seen in the Mirabilis jalapa 4 o'clock plant, anther bends on towards the stigma. Then the fourth is seen in the Vinca rosea. Fourth is seen in the Vinca rosea. Example I am writing it as Vinca rosea. Basically what adaptation, natural adaptation is seen in the Vinca rosea is the flowers are of funnel shaped. So flowers are of funnel shaped. Flowers are of funnel shape. So like this the flowers are. Okay, and anthers are located at the top. So this is the position for anthers. So let us label it as anther. Okay, and let us say this is the part of female reproductive, that is gynoecium, or we can say pistil. Now what happens when anther mature? Anther is located at the top region, and at the center region within this Vinca rosea flower the pistil is located. When the anther wall mature, that is when anther maturation takes place, pistil also mature and increase its size, it elongates on its own. So let us write, when anther mature, pistil elongates. So what will happen? The natural advantage, when anther will mature, this pistil will automatically mature and the pistil will elongate. That means it will increase its size. When pistil will elongate, of course, it is a ready-made condition then that the pollen from this anther will definitely fall on the stigma of this pistil. So of course, then there will be the 100% chance of self-pollination or self-fertilization. Okay, so this is seen in the Vinca rosea. One more is there, that is in the potato, Solanum tuberosum, the scientific term for potato. In this, the stigma is coiled around the anther. So let me write it here. Okay, we will use this area only. Fifth adaptation for self-pollination, and this is the last adaptation for self-pollination, which is seen in the Solanum tuberosum, that is potato. So example includes Solanum tuberosum, that is potato. What is the adaptation which is seen in the Solanum tuberosum, that is potato? The stigma is coiled around the anther. So adaptation is stigma coils around anther. So let us see with the help of diagram. say for example this is the bilotypical anther, ठीक है, and then the stigma, that is the stigma style as well of ovary will coil, elongate itself around the entire structure of anther in such a way, then there will be 100% chance that self-fertilization or self-pollination will take place. So this was all about the adaptations of flower or plant in order to undergo self-pollination, because just now we discussed that self-pollination is also important as well as cross-pollination is also important. So there has to be natural adaptation that will facilitate either self or cross-pollination, because if the plant or the flower is undergoing self-pollination, then of course we will definitely obtain or we will produce the true breeding lines, and that is also a necessary part. So this is all about the adaptation of the self-pollination. In the next segment we will discuss about the adaptation for cross-pollination.